If you're trying to decide between 30A or Destin, this video is for you. And people quite often ask themselves the wrong question, and they ask themselves, which one of these is better? But that's not the right question to ask, because these two towns are not competing versions of themselves. They offer a completely different lifestyle, and it's really what is better for you. So in this video, we're going to be going over the differences between 30A and Destin to help you make your best decision. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. We're going to start with 30A. 30A is not a city, but it is actually a highway. So two cities are incorporated into the 30A highway. You have Santa Rosa Beach and you have Inlet Beach, and this highway stretches from the beginning of Santa Rosa Beach all the way almost Bay County in Inlet Beach. And this highway has a bunch of different small beach communities. Within these beach communities, we do not have a lot of chain stores or anything like that. It is all mostly local businesses. So when you go to dinner, it is going to be, maybe they have a couple locations, but mostly local restaurants, local shopping, all of that kind of stuff. You do have a couple of bigger chain grocery stores and stuff like that along Highway 98. But along 30A, other than a Subway that's been there since they made the rule that you can't have chains, 30A is mostly no chains and also no high-rise condos. So you can't have above 4 stories. There's 2 in Seagrove that were there before we had any rules and restrictions, but most of 30A is going to be single-family homes or 4-story or below condos. Next with 30A is your development and your overall feel. Everything on 30A in each beach town has its own unique vibe and feel. Alice Beach is all white architecture. Rosemary Beach looks like it's out of a German town in Europe, I like to say. Grayton Beach is very old Florida. They all have their own unique feel to them, and they are so different. So you have such a different feel on 30A versus if you're in Destin. And also another unique thing about 30A is that it is newer, and Destin has been around much longer than 30A. So a lot of the homes that you are going to find on 30A are newer construction homes. Of course, you do have some older homes like in Grayton Beach that have been around a lot longer, but your entire construction and the architecture on 30A is a completely different feel than what you are going to find in Destin. Now let's talk a little bit about Destin. Destin allows high-rise condos. So a lot of your on-the-beach properties are high-rise condos. You have a lot more options for that. And you have a lot less options if you're looking for a single-family home. We have a lot less land in Destin. It's a thinner strip of land, and you also have all of those condos, and you have a lot more that has been established there over the years. So when you're looking for a single family home in Destin, you have less options. But if you're looking for a condo, you're going to have a lot more options. Another thing is your options to go out to eat, your options to go to the mall. There's a lot more in Destin. It's older and it has all of those chain things. You're going to find an Olive Garden. You're going to find a Longhorn. You're going to have a mall. We have Destin Commons in Destin. We have a water park in Destin. We have go-karting, bowling alleys, all of these things that 30A does not offer. Now, of course, if you're on 30A, you can always drive to get to those things. But let's say that you're buying a second home and you want to be close to those things, and you want to have, maybe if you're renting out a property, you want access to those things. Destin might be a better option for you. Another thing, like I mentioned, 30A has a lot more newer homes. Destin is going to have older homes, so there are more things that you have to look out for in these older homes. If they are built before 1978, you have to look out for lead-based paint. You have to make sure there's not as much termite damage. There's more things inspection-wise that you're going to be dealing with in Destin versus maybe a newer home. And bringing all of this into perspective, if convenience is super important to you and you want to be close to a Target and to a big Walmart and to a mall, just keep in mind, if you're on 30A, you might be driving 45 minutes, sometimes an hour in summer traffic to get to those things. And you may not want to be doing that. If you're on vacation, you don't really need those big box stores. You don't really need those big chain restaurants. But if you live here full time, do you want to make that drive that far? That's something to consider if you're choosing between the two of them. Now I want to talk a little bit about the lifestyle in comparison. So 30A, you have a lot of areas you can walk. We have beautiful coastal dune lakes in Walton County, and there's so many walking trails. There's a large bike and walking path from the very beginning of Highway 30A to the very end. And really almost everywhere you walk on 30A is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, and you can bike, lots of walkability within the little small towns to get dinner and stuff like that. So it's definitely a little bit of a different lifestyle. Destin does have a lot of parks, and they do have a lot of outdoor activities as well, but you don't get the same walkability and feel as on 30A. Another thing to consider really again is the type of home that you're looking for. You're gonna have newer, different style homes on 30A versus Destin. So when you're looking at properties, you may gravitate towards one or the other depending on what type of home that you are looking for. And when you get here and you actually see the neighborhood options that are available, you may lean one way or the other. Something people may not consider is being here on vacation is very different than living here. So when you are choosing a place to live, you have to really think about all of these factors and what is really going to play into your daily life the best. And there are some areas on the very west side of 30A or the very east side of 30A where you are much closer to Destin and Panama City Beach, so you can get that convenience, but you might like the lifestyle on 30A better. So it really just depends on your budget, your lifestyle, what is important to you, and all of these different factors play an important role. And that is really where we come in as the experts to listen to your wants and your needs and use our knowledge of the communities, Destin versus 30A, or any of the areas on the Emerald Coast to help you make that best decision on what is the best for you. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to us. I'm Christina, and Sabina and I are a mother-daughter real estate team here along the Emerald Coast, and we would be happy to answer any of those questions for you. Make sure you subscribe for all kinds of videos about 30A, Destin, and the Emerald Coast, and we will see you in the next video.